Shalom, shalom. Call Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel and to Specklebird Israelites that are scattered abroad that look like the heathen nations. To y'all say shalom. And shalom to all you brothers and sisters that may be out there listening and learning. And shalom to all you brothers that are out there on the highways and byways doing the work in these latter times, trying to wake up the elect. Because that's who matters. Two-thirds of all people do not matter in this time. They will be destroyed on this side. And I also want to say this truth was for the Israelites only, and the Israelites who you call today so-called black, Hispanic, Native American, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Jamaican, Haitian, Guatemalans, the Panamanians. Those are the Israelites. And yeah, as y'all can see on the screen, this prophecy is here. It's here. It's no longer tarryin, and you can't deny it anymore. You can't deny it. Like as y'all can see, it says it's an article from End Time Headlines, basically one of these websites that I always get stuff off of. It says brain implant startup backed by Bezos and Gates is testing mind control computing on humans. Now, this is the MOTB, and this is going to be the prophecy to where, hey, it's like a life or death thing, man, and then when you take this thing, man, when they make it mandatory, because that's pretty soon, when they make it mandatory, it's, you basically choosing who you serve, I'm going to get this in Revelation 13, because this prophecy is steady, this is talked about daily, this prophecy. Right, this is Revelation 13, in verse 16, it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. This is that brain implant in your head, right? Your forehead, And this is what they're going to do. This is why all these top people, these white top Edomites, which is the biblical nationality, the so-called white race. Jeff Bezos is the owner of Amazon. Bill Gates, he was one of the leaders or people that was so-called in charge of the pandemic. And so you don't think he's gonna have anything to do with what's going forward? Them bringing the CBDCs, the digital currency, and doing away with cash. They all work together behind the scenes. And if you can't see that, hey, the Lord didn't reveal that to you, man. The Lord didn't reveal it to you. So, but it's clear, it's evident that this prophecy is basically here, man. We don't have a lot of time left. We don't have 10 years left, 20 years. It's here. Because I did a video, I believe, like last week or 2 weeks ago, about Elon Musk basically starting human trials in less than 30 days. So you gotta think if that was 2 weeks ago, then now it's like 20 days now. Until they start up. But usually when Esau tells us something, he's already done it. So he's really, if you're not paying attention, you late. This technology it's been out, but it just hasn't really been made readily available to the public, because certain prophecies have to come to pass. Right? Let me get Habakkuk. There's a lot of key scriptures that I get, when I see this being talked about, because because it's just relevant and the scriptures are on point with certain when you talk about certain things. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 in verse 3, because you got some people that still say that it's the MOTB is not the C-hip, or it's sin, or it's something else, or it ain't gonna happen, which it will happen. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. At the end of what? At the end of this man's kingdom, and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, and it will not tarry. And now it's not tarrying. Because those, like I said, those three men, those top lower level, they're lower level luminaries. They're not like the top elites, but they're lower ones. But they're all a part of this system, this agenda. That's why they all agree on the same things. They all be at these different meetings. I think they be a part of that WEF meeting too. You know, it's not just these world leaders. It's them too. These different owners of these different big companies that everybody knows about, everybody uses. They be in on it too. It's Ezekiel chapter 12. I think it's in verse 21, I believe. It's Ezekiel chapter 12, verse 22. It says, "Son of man, what is that proverb that you have in the land of Israel, saying the days are prolonged and every vision faileth? You know, tell them therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will make this proverb to cease. And they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but saying to them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision." You see? So this is the year, you know, that the Lord had put on the spirit of Elder Apostle Tahar of GMS to basically coin this year, the year of all prophecies pretty much coming to pass. You know, this is one of the last prophecies before World War III takes place and all hell breaks loose. Because when this happens, you know, all hell will break loose. Because when you take this, man, you're going to get them swords, man. You're going to get that, what's that, Revelations 14, I believe. I believe it is. Right? Salakia. Goes to Revelation 16. This Revelation 16. This is the judgment of taking that. This is Revelation 16 and verse 2. It says, "And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which had worshipped his image." That's how you worship his image. His image represents his philosophies, his ways of life. Because when you accept that, when they bring this thing out, it's going to be during the time of a famine. You know, when people's backs are completely against the wall, when they don't have nothing else. That's why this man is causing these different environmental catastrophes. You know, having these train derailments and polluting the air, polluting the water, having these so-called pandemics so people can be scared and fearful and they can trust in their government, and then they bring that solution. You know, and make it look like these things just happen so they can bring that solution. But that ultimate solution is going to be that CHIP, that MOTB, you know. But this is that judgment when you take this, you know. Why would you get like a sore from, if the mark is sin, this, you know, you don't get, like, say if you eat pork, you don't, I mean, you can, certain things can happen, they really happen probably internally, but when you eat pork, you don't usually get like a sore or something. You might have high blood pressure, but this is going to be from something being put in you physically, you know, which is that mark. That's what they're going to use, you know, and you're fully giving life into the image because you're giving this man complete power, complete authority over you. You basically saying that you're his God. That's what that is, you know, because that's why he wants to put it in your head, because your brain is the basically the main thing that, you know, that the Lord uses to communicate with you. You know? And Esau wants to take control of that. You know? Let me get at Isaiah 14. I think it's Isaiah 14. This is Isaiah 14. This is this man's mind. This is Isaiah 14, verse 13. It says, "For thou hast said in thine heart," meaning in his mind, "I will ascend into heaven, and I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. And I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation of the sides of the north. And I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, and I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to the hill and to the sides of the pit." You know? Meaning to a low estate. This man is going to be brought down to a low estate. You know? And when this man comes out with this thing, man, he's going to be able to get the majority of people. But some people that ain't even the part, look, ain't even going to take this, but he's going to get a lot of the world with this, man, because he's going to deceive them. You know? But the ones that the Lord actually cares about are you Israelites. The Israelites are a party elect that won't take this. You know? The Lord don't care about everybody, man. You know? Let me get Job chapter 20 and I'll probably close out because I didn't want this to be a long lesson. This is Job chapter 20 and verse 22. It says, "In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits, and every hand of the wicked shall come upon him." Right? When he is about to fill his belly, right? When he's almost done eating. When you eat, what are you doing? You fueling your body, right? You know, you're supposed to be. A lot of people eat junk foods and stuff like that, especially a lot of you Jakes. You know, but it's a spiritual comparison to when this man is basically making his enterprise, making his objective and plans come true when he's in the midst of actually doing it. See him and people, the Lord's gonna throw in that monkey wrench. He's gonna dishonor his, not dishonor, but he's gonna foil this man's plans. You know, because certain brothers are gonna get beheaded. Certain brothers gonna get spiritual power during this time, and we're real close. You know, and it says, "And shall rain upon him while he is eating." So the Lord is gonna have, you know, that's what it's talking about. Verse 24, it says, "He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow still shall strike him through." That's talking about the missiles, man. You know, coming out of them silos. You know, because World War III is gonna happen after that. You know. And it's not a coincidence that it's happening pretty much, you know, this year. There's been a lot of talk about it since the beginning of the end of last year, going into this so-called New Year in 2023. This could be the year to where they really implement this thing, and I could see it, you know, or at possibly at the beginning of next year, but it's here, you know. So I just wanted to edify the sheep, you know, warn the flock of what is here, you know, what is to come in the next couple weeks, you know, months, not years, you know, and to not trust in this man and to, you know, not take this thing, man. We got to warn the flock because this is this man's final step that he wants to make, you know, in order to stay in power, pretty much, you know. You know, we're not ignorant to his devices, you know. But yeah, you know, I'll close out. I'm gonna give our honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. I'm gonna say Shalom. I'm gonna say Wah, Baba, Shalom.